Seeing how long you can hold a plank is a great way to test how strong your core really is. But the kind of plank that you're doing is going to tell me the real story. What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Today I want to talk to you about planks. Yes, we know that they're a good way to measure your core strength, and a lot of people use them as a time test to see how long you can hold it for. But to me that doesn't really matter so much. It's the kind of plank that you're doing, because slight variations in your body and the way that you position it can make the exercise completely different. So let me take you down and show you exactly how this works out and how you can make it more challenging as you get stronger. And remember guys, this is what ATHLEAN-X is all about. It's not just throwing some program at you and saying, hey, go get them guys, good luck. It's about matching your ability level, so that showing you the science behind the strength so that you can always make an exercise more difficult and continue to grow with the program. Not about having just a 90-day program that you're done with after 90 days. So now, first and foremost, we've seen, as basic as it gets in rehab, someone trying to get back a little bit of core strength, they start off in that quadruped position, hands and knees straight down. Now what's the main difference between this and when you put your feet out behind you? It's just the length of the lever arm. So that now, by bringing my feet back more behind me, that lever arm on the abs that are doing the work is longer, so now I have to work a little bit harder in this position. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to sort of just keep the back of your head flat, level, with your shoulder blades and with your tailbone, so that everything sort of sits straight at this angle. Now if you have a little bit longer arms, you're going to angle up a little bit, but that's still, as long as you're keeping everything straight, you're not allowing the abs to break and sag down, you should be okay. Now, people ask, is this more difficult, or why is this more difficult, or less difficult than any other variation? Well, if you bring it straight down onto the ground, now you have another aspect that's in play. Now you are taking out the strength of the chest and the mechanical advantage that you had up here, right? Because we have our chest in play, that can help out a lot, and our shoulder blades are supported by our arms. In other words, the structure of our back here and our shoulder blades can pretty much almost rest in the joint. Right here, it's actually getting compressed on the floor. So it's easier to hold that position than it is here. Now I take the chest out of it for the most part. Now I'm relying a lot more on the abs to hold the plank, and this kind of area in here is now more dependent as well, the interscapular area, because I don't have the ability to sort of, again, rest in and lock into the joints. I now have to rely more on the strength in the area between my shoulder blades. So this is a more difficult variation. Now, if I want to make that a little bit harder, I got to change the elevation angle so that now I'm up onto a bench. What this does is increases the likelihood that I would sag to succumb to the gravity, basically. So that now I've got a bigger potential to cave in. So now I got to resist even more through the core in order to be able to hold that. Okay, another element that you can continue to progress to is your base of support. The wider your base of support, I'll come this way so you can see it, the easier the exercise is. So if I have my hands out here and my feet wide, I'm going to be able to hold it a lot longer than I can if everything is in nice and close together. Because now I have the tendency to rock side to side, and I have to prevent that. So more muscles, more work to do that. And same thing back up here too. This is an easier version than everything stacked together. So we talked about lever arm, we talked about base of support. What if we did one killer variation? You know that no exercise, no ATHLEAN-X video is complete without one. So let's get ourselves a little bit of a challenge here. We're going to incorporate all that. We're going to narrow the base of support, and we're going to lengthen that lever arm. We're going to do that by taking out a weight plate, holding out in front of us here, and doing our plank in that way. So again, weight plate out in front of you, lengthen the lever arm. Feet behind me, lengthen the lever arm. Base of support, very narrow, okay? Suspension, Remember when I put my feet up on the bench, we had suspension involved? Hands up off the ground, suspension. So there's a lot more work being done. This is kind of a combination of all those things. Right here, come out, feet behind, and up. A lot more difficult. You gotta stabilize this plate. And down. So, next time someone asks you how long can you hold the plank, say what kind, because the kind of plank that you're doing can have a much drastic, difference between the way it feels on your body and how good you can do on it. And this is the point of ATHLEAN-X training. Asking somebody how much do you bench, right? They're going to gauge how strong you are. I'd say I don't care, because I know as an athlete there are so many ways that I can expose a weakness in you regardless of how much you bench. If you want to start looking like an athlete, you got to start training like one. It's going to expose a lot of different areas that how much you bench is not going to cover. And the same thing here, how long can you hold a plank, it's not going to cover. If you really want to fortify your body and be as athletic on the outside as you are on the inside, you're going to have to start following a program that does that. And hopefully, as the many guys on Team Athlete already know, we've done that. We put that together in ATHLEAN-X. I'd love for you to join us here on Team Athlete. Guys, we'll be back here next week, another video. Keep your feedback coming. Tell me how long you can hold that plank that I just did. I'll see you guys here in 7 days.